pans out, as let's just say any percent, depending on how you play it, is filled with a lot of debt.
Definitely, you can actually have some 100% tactics going as a safety on any percent.
Yes, oh, and it appears we are off already, getting started on our very first race, and off we go into the intro. In the intro we won't be seeing too many things going on, I suppose. It's all moving to the right and mashing. There might be a
few light reductions we can see.
Well, yeah, a bit of lag reduction and a couple small tricks perhaps at the end of the intro stage, but nothing too spectacular to be following up on.
Yeah.
Intro is quite easy. The game really starts as soon as you hit the 8 Mavericks, and any percent anything is
it's possible with that.
Quite challenging. Since in 100% you have a lot of safety, a lot of HP, sub tanks, anything, and well, depending on what you do in any percent, you might have some items, but definitely lacking a lot of them, and that will really show.
Yeah, definitely.
In all of these runs. We'll see a lot of route divergence or strat divergence from a lot of runners, including these two, over the course of the tournament, where they might pick up an item or two. Or simply go in hardcore and not pick up anything at all. I expect Walrus will not pick up anything. I'm not sure about Ch0cman.
I think Ch0cman might just go for the Eagle sub-tank or the Dealer part, which is actually on the way, so he won't really be losing that much time.
Yeah, he would not be losing a lot of time on those things. There's a couple items that are really easy to pick up, even if you do any percent. So there's not really a big time loss, and it does add a little bit of safety, as the late game will be very difficult. We see both of them having their little show off with Vile right now. Both getting in off-screen Vile, it looks like.
Yeah, that's one of the worst cases scenarios you could get, because Vile actually takes a little bit longer to reach Mega Man.
Yeah, we like to call it the outer space Vile, or out to lunch Vile. Well, they seem quite in sync at the end of the intro, as expected.
Yeah, they really didn't lose that much time.
I see someone in the chat asking if they are getting the Hadouken. Now, technically, in any percent, you can get the Hadouken, since, I mean, any percent includes anything. So 100% is any percent, so yes, they can get the Hadouken, but it is rather unlikely that we will see anyone go for that. Since
yeah, it would be really unlikely.
Yeah, you would need to collect all of the items, do revisits 5 times, so I mean, if you're very insecure about your gameplay, I suppose you could do that.
Right, yeah.
But I don't think we will see Hadouken in this tournament. Here we see the little penguin climb already up to the capsule. So in the penguin stage, we really get the speedrun going. We will see them both pick up the dash boots right there. It's something that is absolutely required for the speedrun and unlocks a lot of really neat movement.
Yes, and as soon as... Yeah, continue.
Go ahead.
As soon as you get the boots, here is where all the strats, as you were saying, will just go away. Like, it's gonna be a lot of variety on how they're gonna move.
Yeah, the movement changes a lot, and also this unlocks probably one of the most important techniques as far as the game goes in the run that casual players might not know, but the dash lemons, which deal double damage compared to the normal lemons. It's something that you see all the time in the runs, but perhaps when you played as a child, you would not notice.
Yeah.
Both of them getting through the snowballers really quickly. It was really nice to see.
Yeah, here's where the dashes that you were saying, like, take count, because you can actually need only 2 dashes to kill all the green robots. And we saw that Ch0cman had some little problems with that, losing a little bit of time.
Yeah, and now we have the penguin fight. Now penguin fight is quite terrible to play in, because no matter your skill level, Penguin decides how the fight goes. So
Yeah,
we're
definitely.
really looking into getting good RNG for both runners. And so far, I think I've seen Walrus get an extra slide.
Yeah, I think Walrus had one extra slide.
But they both seem to be not too poorly treated by Penguin today. At least not in this first race.
They're probably like half second away, or 1 second at least. They really haven't lost that much time.
Close. Now, if we see here on the timers, I guess we have about 5 seconds difference between the two going into Coanger stage. Putting Walrus slightly ahead. We will see if he gets his favorite strat. Oh, no right wall for Walrus.
Ch0cman tried to go for the gap one.
Now we have turtle skip here on this section. Walrus getting through that quite properly. And Ch0cman will be opting,
to go safety.
Yeah, safety. It's actually not so easy to get through this with the turtle skip if you're not used to it.
Yeah, this definitely is one of the hardest part of this stage.
In terms of learning it, yes, because you really need to have a good pre-movement to get it going.
Yeah.
However, the entire stage is actually quite difficult with all of the climbing. Walrus already on the outside. You see there he had a little miss dash and you instantly get a kill miss, need to turn back. Both of them getting through fairly nicely though.
Yeah, it has been quite a clean climb.
Ch0cman having no issues on the outside. And Walrus will be the first into the Coanger fight.
Let's hope to get a good Coanger for this.
In the Coanger fight, we will probably see this on Walrus stream in a second. You will see that there is a special dancing technique where Coanger tries to grab you and you just
here it is.
Keep dodging out of it, just like that. It's a neat little trick where you can just keep in stun lock, so to speak. Ch0cman getting it as well.
Nice.
Both having a little dance off.
Oh, ch0cman just got grabbed.
Gets grabbed for a second there. Oh, that was a little bit risky actually.
Yeah.
But, going with the dash lemon, also he almost got grabbed. Yeah, Chalk was indeed a lot more centered than you would be used to seeing in the dance, but technically you can execute a dance anywhere in this room, so long as Coanger is willing to attempt grabbing you. And this will indeed be a best of 3 that we have today. As you can see on the bottom, there's a win counter. So expect a lot of Mega Man today.
It's gonna be a lot of action.
Okay, and here might be interesting. Chameleon is a fairly quick stage. Walrus is instantly going into the cave. Now, I don't know if Ch0cman will do the same.
Yes.
Neither player wants to go and grab that armor, which
he's getting punished by the brakes.
Oof, yeah. He's got some bad luck on.
Oh my god, this.
The bricks falling down is a complete RNG, so there's not always a lot you can do. You can be really
difficult to prepare for that.
Yeah, you can be really good reactively, but grabbing all of the brick kills as they come down is difficult and sometimes even impossible.
Yeah.
And yeah, both getting through the stage fairly nicely. The swamp has a lot of different strats, but you can kind of wing it. And here we will see Walrus already executing possibly the easiest boss fight you've ever seen in a video game.
It's fairly a very straightforward fight. There's really not much like complex to do.
Yep. And now we'll see. Oh, Ch0cman doing the same. Right. As you can see, even the start of this fight can be different. You can jump up on the wall to get a quick hit, or you can just fire from the bottom. Doesn't really matter too much. And the maps are going down really quickly like this.
And Walrus going for Storm Eagle.
Yeah, I get the idea that boat runners will really stick to the expected route that you would say Eagle after this, followed by Mammoth, and then follow the weakness order. We might actually see a small difference in the stage though. Walrus is going on the bottom here, skipping past the sub-tank, and opting out of the dead kick. Walrus, please. His opponent, however, might actually go top route and pick up that sub-tank if he wants to. This sub-tank is not...
He's going for a sub-tank.
Okay. He will get the sub-tank. This is a safety item not far away from the route that you're following. You just go on top. Causes you to lose a little bit of time, but definitely worth it in the later stages of the game. And here we see Eagle, very well known as a heavy RNG boss, and where you really, again, want to hope that, well...
he's starting with the dives.
Yeah, already getting dives. Oh, only one dive coming back down.
Okay, this actually was a really good fight for Walrus.
Yeah, Walrus got only one dive. So the diving actually in Eagle costs you about a second on each dive, but there is a chance after a single dive that he comes back down, which happened for Walrus. If he does dive a second time, you're going to have at least 6 dives coming in.
Oh, Ch0cman really got the bad end of the deal here.
Yeah.
Plus
luckily,
one more sting.
There is really not much difficult about the fight otherwise. Walrus, meanwhile, going into the Mandrill stage next. We will see if this is also Ch0cman's next stage, or if he will go
to see Walrus doing this. It's a very technical stage.
Yeah. This is after Koanger actually the second most difficult stage. And Ch0cman will also go to Mandrill. Meanwhile, we have Walrus already on Thunder Slimer. This is a mini boss, but this mini boss is legit harder than some of the actual Mavericks, like Chameleon. It's quite RNG heavy, and some of the attacks he has are really annoying. He can trap you in a bubble, followed by bouncing around the screen. It's really difficult to handle sometimes if you get...
We can see Ch0cman actually going differently than Walrus using the Tornado, which is actually safer and a little bit slower.
Yeah, it's not too much slower, you can still go fast, you don't really have to hinder your movement, but it's definitely gonna cost you a little bit. And actually, C-Sting getting used on Thunder Slimer by Ch0cman. It's an alternative to the boomerangs. I would like to point out, as I see in chat, that Ch0cman is a good chunk behind. That just a reminder, this is still any percent. Boat runners are
going for
always going to be at risk of dying, no matter what they do in this game. The later stages are definitely deadly, so I wouldn't get too worried yet. It's definitely gonna be exciting the further in we get. So Walrus already went through Mandrill. And Ch0cman arriving in it too. Mandrill is actually a fairly easy fight, even for a casual player. You can just stun him with freeze lock all the time. It's really easy. However, if you want to go fast, you want to do a double hit on him for every freeze. And then we will be going to Armadillo next. Walrus already maneuvering through the stage.
So far, this is a really clean and far forward stage, where the movement just goes like just going on it. Like you can go really fast with it, and you don't have to really worry about anything.
Yeah, that's true. This is actually a fairly straightforward stage. There's a lot of cart riding, meaning you don't even... Actually, honestly, the Dillo stage is a stage that half of the time you could just put down your controller almost and just look at the screen, sitting there like, hey, look, I'm moving fast.
There is just one part, and right here on Walrus, when he executes jumping to avoid spawning all the bursts and avoiding lag, there is that one chance if you do it wrong that you can fall off the cart, and then you can lose more time than necessary in this stage.
Yes, I know what you mean. You mean there is a chance when the cart, I believe, moves upwards just as you're landing on it downwards that you can clip through it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one. That can indeed happen. It's actually more important than you think to have a good amount of jumps on those carts to avoid any issues with it.
And Walrus already done with this stage.
Yeah. And we see a safety heart pickup here for Ch0cman, who really does want a couple safety items to go into the later stages. I don't think we've missed any of his items, although I feel like he's picked up at least a second heart somewhere.
Yeah, so far he has grabbed the heart from Mandrill and from here.
He picked it up at Mandrill, okay.
Yeah, he picked it up at Mandrill. And has
Alright.
one sub-tank, so far it's quite a few safeties he has.
Yep.
But it's actually going to be important for the final Sigma.
Yeah, that will be very important because when we get to Sigma 4, it is good to know that whenever the dog, Falcard here, hits you once, both Jedi Sigma and Wolf Sigma will be able to just one-shot you, no matter what attack they hit you with. So this can really make a big difference. Nani? 1 second, please.
Okay, Ch0cman is already done with Armadillo. And Walrus is already almost done with this stage. Going with a fast Serpent kill. Now going against Octopus, there is one chance that he could be in trouble if Octopus does a lot of tornadoes, which could make him potentially lose quite a lot of time.
Okay, I'm back. Excuse me for that.
Welcome back.
So are we Octo stage, Octo fight?
Yes.
Alright, well, Octo here that we see on Walrus, you see him dodging a lot of projectiles. It's actually a really
starting
difficult fight to execute. And in any percent, usually in 100% you want to avoid these tornadoes, right? But in any percent the tornadoes are actually a gift to you, because whenever he does that, it means you will get 2 free hits on him without having to worry. So especially if you're unsure about yourself during this fight, it can really be a big deal. Oh. For a second I thought Ch0cman was gonna go and grab the
yeah, we just thought the same.
heart in the Octo stage.
That's a nice, another way to put it, like, doing that.
Oh, taking a little hit from the Yotoburos there, as it came from underground. And Walrus will be doing Mammoth last. This is actually also a fairly easy stage to get through.
Yes.
The only thing that you really want to pay attention to in this stage are the things that I keep forgetting the English name for. The moving platforms. The... Chat, help me. The
things...
well, the things Walrus is on now. If it dashes... Yeah. If they move to the right, then dashing on them will give you even more speed because it's a moving platform. However, if it's moving to the left, then it will hinder your movement.
The conveyor belts. Thank you, chat.
Conveyor belts. Thank you.
And Ch0cman's already done with Octo.
Yeah, he didn't have a lot of HP left, but I suppose his sub tank is at least partially filled by now. And here we have Mammoth himself. Mammoth himself does not have any really dangerous attacks. He's yeah,
another pretty much straightforward enemy.
And a little fun fact about Mammoth that a lot of people don't know is that you can cut off his trunk with boomerangs, like you can cut the Octo arms with the boomerangs. It doesn't really help you in a speedrun, but if you're ever just having fun with the game, you should probably try it. I hear it looks quite funny.
Oh, Ch0cman going for another safety from the heart of Mammoth.
Yeah, okay, Ch0cman picked up 3 safety hearts. That means he will have a fair amount of safety, including a sub-tank, to go into the later stages of the game. And this can definitely be a difference.
Yes.
Because Walrus is a little bit ahead, but any mistake at this point in the fortress will cost you dearly.
Walrus goes for the leap of faith and got it.
Yep. That little jump over the pit there saves you 3 seconds if you have to wait for the platforms to move in. Meanwhile, Ch0cman arriving at Mammoth himself.
Walrus managed to get the skip.
Well, at least the first part of the skip. This is actually also something that it's worth mentioning, but the spark kill on Mammoth, okay. The vial skip has actually the potential to soft lock your game. If you let go of start too early here, you need to press start during the skip. If you let go of it and you mess up anywhere, this will soft lock your game. And you will have to reset your console or your emulator for that
Should that ever happen?
Yeah, and then you will have to go back to the start of the stage.
And keep in mind, like, you will have to lose around 20 seconds or so to just reach back to where you were.
Yeah. Also here, one of the really dangerous fights of the Sigma Fortress, File himself. He moves fairly quickly and always took a small hit from one of the projectiles, which isn't too bad. But if you ever have a little body bonk with File, he's kind of like a bulldozer. He hits pretty hard. Here we see the no. Ch0cman getting bonked by one of the flyers.
He tried to recover by missing the platforms. He was doing well to get the leap of faith, but got hit on the last part.
Yeah, that's sadly one thing that the items will not protect you from, is this big giant pit on the bottom. But it seems on his second pass through that he will be just fine. He will still have to boost his HP down though.
Yes.
Meanwhile, Walrus attempting a double hit with the charged torpedoes. Didn't get it. And as you can see, Walrus does some kind of advanced Gowanger dance here, where he moves forward, jumps out of the grab, moves forward, jumps out of the grab, while just shooting the torpedoes. And Ch0cman going into
Vial
himself now. Repositions himself accordingly.
Got it.
He's doing just fine.
And now Walrus against Spider. This fight could be actually really difficult. If you lose sight of those threats, this fight could get really messy.
Yeah. It's really important to be able to read patterns quickly, but it's not a gift for everyone. Some people read it easily, others don't. But depending on the RNG of the pattern, that can also really help. Walrus does not seem to have any issues with it.
So far, Spider has given really good patterns.
Yeah, it's often so that you can find it in a safe spot easily, like you have the one thread on the right where you just see, oh, I'm probably safe there. Although, if it throws baby spiders down, that can also be a really big issue. It can throw you off from paying attention to everything at the same time.
Yeah, exactly, and despite the mini spiders that this one throws, it's completely RNG. So you can only hope that it won't happen.
Yeah, speaking of RNG, Walrus going into Sigma 2 means that we have a very RNG heavy stage coming up. Especially if you're doing PB attempts, this is a stage that can really kill your run, no matter how far ahead you are. Since you have two of the major RNG bosses here with Penguin and Eagle all in one go. Not to mention Rangda at the end with the different colors of eyes. I encourage you guys to
right now.
Count the slides in Sigma 2, Walrus is 2 right now. 3. 4. This is not a kind penguin.
Definitely not good.
4 is probably not even too bad. And Ch0cman apparently does not feel very confident going up against Bow Spider and does refill most of his HP.
I think that's actually a smart move to do.
Yeah, Walrus with the max strats. Wow.
What is this?
Get hyped for the max strats.
This is actually new to me.
However, that does cost him some time, because trying to jump out of that mech onto the ladder is kind of difficult.
Ch0cman with a really nice spider so far. But it's just bound to make... Oh, he just got hit by that.
Made a little mistake there in reading. Walrus meanwhile on Eagle. Walrus is getting fairly good Eagle RNG in this run. He only had
definitely
3 dives going into that. Into Sigma 2 here.
Oh, Ch0cman is really in a dangerous position, but luckily he has a sub tank.
Yeah, this is really where the sub tanks and the safety items come in nicely in Sigma. If you are not very confident in doing all of these boss fights, that really require you to pay a lot of attention and quickly react to what the bosses do, you can have quite some issues. And Walrus on RNG Rangda.
Not having a really great start.
And more green eyes, looks like.
Oh, this might actually be a good fight for him.
Oh,
yep, definitely.
God. If Walrus had hit that ice slightly later, he could have bonked onto the spikes there. That would have been quite a bump.
That was such a risky move, but it was actually worth it to do.
Yeah, and Ch0cman actually with some strats I haven't seen before, using torpedoes to kill everything on his way to Penguin. And so far we see that we have about a stage difference between the two of them. Oh boy, a double slide for a triple slide for Ch0cman. Luckily he doesn't get the legendary Quadra slide. Oh,
Walrus managing this keep on Dilo.
Oh wow.
Oh wow, this penguin's really not playing good.
Ch0cman had 7 slides on Penguin, and to start that fight out with a triple, that is an absolute feels bad, man. Also, I hope people were paying a little bit of attention to Walrus here, who does a bit of an advanced fight with Chameleon, the CFO fight, where you start off with a charged boomerang. It's quite fancy to look at. It doesn't save you that much time, but it's swag points, I suppose. Mandrill making his reappearance in Sigma 3 as well. Sigma 3 is actually not that much of an easy stage. It has 5 bosses straight up in a row, followed by T-Rex. T-Rex also being a fairly difficult boss.
Yeah, definitely. I think besides Spider, the one from T-Rex will be one of the hardest bosses for anyone that is just starting to do, or even experienced players to do any percent.
That is in fact true. There are some difficulties with T-Rex, although he does have a couple behavior things built in that can really help you out. As when he does a chomp attack, if you position yourself on his lower half after the chomp attack, he will always do a second chomp, and so you can kind of manipulate him, but even at that point it's not so easy. Ch0cman getting at least a little bit better opening RNG on Rangda. And Walrus cleanly finishing off Octo meanwhile.
Okay, Choco going for the eyes again.
Yeah, he didn't get a 1 cycle on the nose, but actually it might be that he did that intentionally, since killing the nose first means you're stuck in a confined space against potentially moving eyes, which can be quite difficult.
Yeah, we have to remember that he already used his sub-tank.
Yeah.
So he really needs to take care of his life right now.
Yeah, maybe he will try to pick up some HP here in Sigma 3 if he's full, and can get his hands on some things in between. Let's see if he gets the Dillo skip first to set him on his merry way through this one.
Oh, he's a bit too far.
No. He will do the safety.
Oh,
this is actually an alternative way of doing the Dillo skip, getting a bonk into the right position. And meanwhile, we see Walrus on T-Rex. See, he will actually force a second chomp here, which is a really big deal because, well, DRX is already half dead after that
Really clean
pair
fight.
of attacks. So Walrus has a really major lead now. Ch0cman still has to do most of Sigma 3. However, Sigma 4 is a real run killer here that can still decide this race. So we will have to see if Walrus makes it through in one go.
Yeah, even in practice, we have seen Walrus having problems with Sigma 4.
Yeah, right before this race, Walrus seemed to be having a little bit of difficulty with this fight here, but we'll see how he does. If the nerves don't get him too bad, I suppose he will be fine. But just to mind everyone, Valgarder is the first fight of the 3. If the dog, Valgarder, hits you once, you will be a one-shot on any other stage of this.
Oh, Walrus going.
Walrus already took 2 hits, so he's definitely in range of a one-shot. Jedi Sigma is usually not a big deal. He's fairly straightforward and not a huge threat with the attacks that he has, but definitely the final fight against Wolf Sigma will be a treat to watch. And if that would happen to be a thing that he dies here, it will become really close, because he would have to farm all of his ammo back.
Yeah. I mean, well, Ch0cman, it's almost at the end of Sigma 3.
Yeah, Ch0cman is really close on his heels. If Walrus makes any kind of mistake, Ch0cman will be very quick to catch up at that point. So we'll have to see, does he get nice claws? Does it Thunder Snipe him or anything? Ooh, falling off a claw already.
Playing really close and dangerous game. And Ch0cman going for the upper path of the stage.
Walrus dies as the claw moves him into the head. Probably
now
having a
this
little bit of
gives
nerves.
Ch0cman a chance to continue. He just needs to do Mammoth and T-Rex really well.
Walrus getting trolled as he gets a life drop. That's what the game is telling him here. I think you lost this. And Ch0cman, look, he will be catching up right now as he kills
He's pretty much about to catch up. This is just about to start, get really, really close.
Yeah, Walrus is still in the lead, but if he makes this kind of mistake again, and you have to think that if you die here once, it's in your mind. What if I do this again? What if my opponent took safety items? We don't know if Walrus is watching his opponent on the restream or not. But he has to realize that this is a dangerous position to be in. And as you can see, Walrus again took 2 hits, but even as you take 1 hit, you will be one-shotted for the rest of this fight.
Ch0cman was having a little bit of troubles with DRX.
Ch0cman actually going through DRX fairly clean. Walrus doing a second Jedi fight right there. Well, I'm actually excited to see how this pans out, because as we say, there's now Sigma 4 on Ch0cman as well, and Walrus is again on that low HP, not able to take a single hit.
Now really anything can happen.
Oh, it's quite exciting, I have to say. I feel the nerves in the air.
Oh, Ch0cman going to reveal, which is actually a smart move to do. So he really doesn't have anything to...
So let's see, Walrus so far doing well, halfway through Wolf Sigma. And he seems to be going through with this. Alright, Walrus finishes this race up right there with that 33-49, leaving Ch0cman behind him. Ch0cman actually farmed up his full sub tank, wants to make sure he gets through in one go.
Yes.
That does mean that the first race goes over to Walrus, but we're not done. There will be another chance for Ch0cman to come back here. Is this going to be a best of 3? Ch0cman also plays it a bit more safe with the dog. He does not get hit yet.
Yeah, he was really saved on those moments.
And it's actually not bad to play a little bit safe on the dog, because it doesn't deal that much damage, but still anything that you save at this point will make sure that you're safe in the later fights, so you cannot just get one-shotted by the other two. And I'm not sure about how much HP he has here, but I think he can take 2 shots.
Yeah, he can get 3.
Well, I mean, no, he can take 2, otherwise he dies on the third one.
Oh yeah, that's true.
But he does have sub-tank, so technically he should be able to take 4 hits at maximum. So he can be a little bit dangerous if he wants to.
Okay, now the last fight.
Now let's see if Ch0cman does make it in one go.
Oh, just the first hit.
No, but as we said, 1 hit's not too bad. Taking some careful aim at the... Oh,
there it goes the
wait about that sub-tank. He does seem to be a little bit nervous on his claws, and the claw on the right does seem to like visiting him. And as you can see right there, that lightning strike took half of his HP and even more. So I don't think if it's lightning strikes, he will actually just get 2-shot.
Yeah,
he
we
does
got 2 shots.
His first race at the 35.54, which is a very respectable any percent time. Do not be mistaken, the world record in any percent is a low 31. I believe it's a 31.13.
Yes.
But these times are definitely respectable because this category is so very deadly. Walrus as well as I believe 31.26, but you see he's also nearly at the 34 times simply because later on in the game, Sigma 4 especially just shreds people, and it's also a big reason why a lot of people don't actually run this category because it's so dangerous.
And as you can see, even like Ch0cman took some safeties, he wasn't really that far apart from Walrus.
Yeah, he was indeed not that far apart. I mean, as far as the 8 maps go, I feel like it's kind of difficult to get far behind since everything is the straightforward move right or move up and just kill the boss. And you can't really make up that much time there as long as boat runners are fairly practiced in the general movement. So it really has to come from the Sigma stages almost, or like some breaking points where you see some small tricks or things that people know about, like the file skip or the Dillo skip, for example, can make up 15 seconds easily. Well, actually, no, even more, because you would have to fight them normally. And also just the fights with the bosses themselves, getting good RNG on the birds of Eagle and Penguin, rolls on Dillo, not taking any deaths.
Yeah, the whole Sigma stages can be really RNG bases when they want it to be.
Yeah. Oh, we see a little Mega Man 1 up there on Walrus' side. I wonder if he will take a second one straight off the bat, or if Ch0cman will make a strong comeback and tell him no.
I think Ch0cman has a really good chance to actually do it.
He definitely has a good chance, but I mean, any matchup in this tournament will have a good chance for boat runners.
Yes.
No, I'm not sure.
They're still getting ready for it.
Yeah, I don't have the SRL chat open, but if you do, perhaps you can take a look if they are ready or if they are taking a minor break for a drink or a nature break.
So far, Ch0cman seems to be ready. Walrus might be taking a break.
Ch0cman did already restart this emulator, but Walrus is loading the credits.
So might have to wait a little bit.
So perhaps there is actually a miniature break.
I feel if Ch0cman actually grabs maybe one less safety, he'll have a better shot at doing this.
That is possible, but
as we said, he really didn't have that much problems with the whole route.
No,
so
true.
Maybe, just maybe.
Yeah, but At the same time, the hearts that he took didn't really cost him that much time. Perhaps the one heart that he kind of grabbed, I didn't quite agree with, was the one in Mammoth, which seemed a little bit of an odd extra heart to take.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Especially as we saw later on, like in Sigma 4, he struggled the most, and I don't think that extra heart made a huge difference. When he took 2 hits at the start, he would have still been alive without it, and yeah.
Okay, seems they are ready to start.
Yeah, we see them back on the game start screen, and there we go for race number 2. Back to the amazing hold right and shooting stage, or highway stage, or the intro. This is actually fun to watch as you have this full sync. Oh, well, never mind, Walrus kills everything, and Ch0cman
it's done.
appears not to care about some of the enemies flying over his head. And perhaps it's worth mentioning as well that I said there is not too much special in this stage. There's actually a good chance here at these Bs that if you get bad RNG, then you need to take an extra bonk on fighting these, and that can cause you to die if you get double passive Bs.
Oh yeah.
This is why we see Walrus picking up this HP. At the end of the intro, you need to be at 3 HP or lower. However, if you get a passive B and take a bonk, you go to about halfway, and if the second B is passive, there is a chance for you to die, and you probably don't want that to happen.
Now, Walrus really seems to have a lot of HP, so he might have to go with task cars just to reduce that HP without losing time.
Yeah, he can go with task cars or find himself another way to tank that HP down. With task cars, as we see his setup going for it, will be the
definitely task car
option. If you do not know what task cars is, you see him riding on these cars to the right. It's a little movement thing that you get on the cars, which are moving to the right, and Mega Man moves to the right, so it's like a double right movement, and it gives you a little bit extra speed, and it will save you a little bit of time.
This is so insane so far.
Actually, Ch0cman seems to pull this
just a tiny bit.
Oh boy, but he gets another off the lunge while...
That gives Walrus a chance again.
It's really funny to see when runners are close, how the game can actually say, I'm gonna give you a couple seconds, I'm gonna give you a couple seconds. Even from the start you see that. You can actually manipulate file a little bit. If you see that he's jumping really far away, then you can try to dodge his shot a little bit longer, or just jump into a second shot, but it's not always worth it. So perhaps it's better to take the risk.
Yeah. Okay, we're starting now with the Penguin. There's one thing, like, I don't know if you guys noticed, that Walrus gave one little jump before starting, and it was just to move a little bit faster than usual, while Ch0cman didn't. And this is more like a play of frames, just saving as many frames as you can.
Yeah, you mean at the start of the stage where a runner will jump to get control slightly faster?
Yeah, just
I knew that worked on the intro, but I was in fact not aware of the other stages having the same effect.
Oh, Ch0cman just having some problems with the climb.
Yeah, this climb, actually, as simple as it may look, where you just go left and right and jump up, has some serious difficulties. One of the jumps there is a slope jump, meaning you run off a slope and jump. But if you stop holding right too early while on the slope and jump, then you won't get the proper height and speed that you should have to get up there. Walrus is already flying through the rest of the cave, and Ch0cman is right behind him.
Definitely, I'd say 5 to 6 seconds advantage the Walrus has. That could get less if Penguin does just slides.
Yeah. Also, something to think about here in this stage is that you have that little mag there, It's probably like the only place in the game where MX strat is actually the good thing to do. And now we can go back to counting slides on both of their fights, because that will determine a lot of the outcome of these fights.
So far, really good penguins for both of them.
I've counted 2 on Walrus.
Oh, nah, Walrus had problems.
So to 3 on Walrus, 4. 4 slides, it's not absolutely terrible, but it's also not great.
And Ch0cman is done. Ch0cman had 5, I'm guessing.
5? Oh.
If I did count right.
I must have fallen asleep because I thought I counted 2.
Was you? I don't know.
Yeah, but I tried to count both of them at the same time, so perhaps I got something messed up. But I thought it was only 2.
Well, let's go with 2.
Yeah.
I might be wrong.
Now back to actually a really technical stage. We didn't talk too much about it, but when you're playing this game, Coanger stage, you see here that the runners do a lot of climbing, and this is actually a very painful stage to play, as this is just really technical. There's a lot of jumping, like dash movement, jump movement, and that can really be a pain on your hands to practice and execute in runs.
Nice climb for Walrus. Well, Ch0cman had a little bit of problems. And yeah, it seems he was 2 slices on Penguin.
Yeah, and also a little something you see here on Walrus is that he keeps bonking into those spikes on the right. Now there's a little, well, bug or glitch here where you can actually jump into those spikes, and if you wall kick them, you will not take any damage. It's that simple. So if you were wondering how he kept getting hit without taking any damage, that is how. Boat runners seem to be having a pretty smooth outside stage.
Yes.
Walrus having a little fight there with that moving platform. Other than that, there doesn't seem to be any big issues going on.
Oh, okay. Ch0cman was really close to dying right there.
Oh yeah, he does have 2 HP. That's dangerous to go into the Coanger fight on only 2 HP. He doesn't get a drop, so he'll have to be careful. If he attempts to do the dance and he dashes slightly too far, he will, well, die a fairly hilarious death as he just dashes into Coanger. But
Walrus with a nice
having a clean fight, and Ch0cman,
it seems to be doing right. So, okay, no.
Yeah, actually, Coanger deciding he didn't want to fight anymore. Dance.
These two Choker back.
Yeah. Yeah, that puts him about half of the fight back. That really sucks. If you jump slightly too early, Coanger has a chance that he will not even try to grab you anymore and simply dashes straight through you. That's actually what we saw going on there. However, the last part of that fight is really easy, as Coanger will never teleport on top of you, so you can just stand in the middle and shoot left and right, as you see there. Walrus, meanwhile, attempting to fight the many bricks of Chameleon Cave. He actually hit one, but or well, one hit him.
Yeah, but it was a nice cave so far.
Yeah. And Ch0cman now with a fairly clean finish in Coanger. It's an unfortunate death, but sadly one that's not very irregular. Coanger is one of the fairly difficult fights if you knew not get the dance right completely.
Yeah, Ch0cman might want to grab the life that is here, just in case, because having a game over will be even worse than just dying at any part.
Yeah, that is true, and he could pick it up without having to stop, as he could just fire a boomerang and oh, the beautiful dodge between those two bricks. Someone should clip that.
That's for memories.
Other than that, this K went fairly nice.
Yeah, and Ch0cman grabbed it.
He does actually pick up the life, realizing he would rather not take the risk of a game over. And let's be honest, if you would at all game over in this category, and you're at the end of Sigma 3, for example, that is absolutely terrible. Having to fight
that would be horrible.
5 bosses all over again, that is quite terrifying to look at, because that will easily cost you so much time.
Now, while we're starting on Eagle stage,
and he decides to go for relaxed city strats.
But knowing the advantage he has, I guess it's fine to do.
If he does know that he has the advantage, runners may or may not choose to be looking at the restream, but we don't know if he has any idea what is going on here, or how far ahead is at the moment. Ch0cman starting his own Eagle stage right now.
While Walrus is almost at the end.
Yeah. It's about a stage difference between the two of them. There are some fun things to talk about in this stage, but they are not really... You can't not really apply them in any percent, because it's glitches that occur with the phantom grab of
the magic,
platform at the start of the stage.
Yeah. The magic carpet.
Yeah. If that trick is executed here, there could be certain objects simply disappearing throughout the stage. One example is the platforms right before the Eagle airship. Those platforms might just disappear and cause you to get into a very awkward situation. And Walrus already finished with his Eagle. Now
Walrus already done.
What was it again? Mandrill?
Mandrill.
Yeah.
Ch0cman did have a really nice movement overall on Eagle stage.
Yeah. We see Walrus actually applying ice shots to a lot of these enemies instead of using the tornado. If you place these correctly, the ice shots will explode inside the enemies that spawn and cause them to take 5 damage from the ricochet, from the mini sparks, causing them to die very quickly.
A really nice Eagle for Ch0cman. He really didn't waste that much time.
Did he have any dives? Because I was trying to look at that.
I counted 1, I think. 1 or 2. Not really sure.
Yeah, that's very nice. Walrus made quick work of Thunder Slimer, who didn't really do too much bouncing around or give bad RNG. And is already moving swiftly throughout the Mandrill stage. We see Ch0cman is opting to use more of the tornadoes rather than the ice shots. Although he does use one.
He did one. Yeah.
I think most people will learn that one because it has a very, very clear visual cue. So it's not really very difficult. Oh. Mandrill actually trying very hard to punch Walrus in the face.
Just going for that Tyson punch.
Actually getting a lot of RNG where he's trying to punch Walrus like, no, you're not allowed to win this race, I'm gonna punch you right out of here.
And
Walrus, however, does not quite agree and says, try to punch me all you want. I'm just gonna freeze you right out of here and be on my merry way to Armadillo.
Now Ch0cman might want to grab again this hard.
Yeah. And actually, while I think about it, both runners, because of the route that they take, I believe it's... Wait, is it Mammoth or...
Mammoth Blast.
I think it's Mammoth, actually the stage that disables the lights in the Mandrill stage. I do believe they have more dark and light than you otherwise would have, but for some reason it kind of escapes my mind.
Wait, wasn't Eagle the one that did that? think it was Eagle.
Oh yeah, Eagle. Right. Okay. Yeah, I'm a little bit bad with that information. Stages affect the other ones, but stages do get affected by the defeating of Mavericks. Certain Mavericks will cause other stages to change. It's like in Mammoth stage, the entire stage will be frozen because of Penguin being dead. Otherwise, you would have a lot of lava and interactions with the ground there.
And Ch0cman had a really good fight so far because he didn't did as many Tyson punches as Walrus.
Yeah, that is actually potentially the worst RNG Mandrill gives. If you're not careful, he can like knock you off the wall if you're trying to be safe. Meanwhile, we see Walrus. Oh,
he is
Dilla is taking revenge for the RNG of Eagle, at least a little bit.
There is a chance where this can happen right here. He will just roll in.
Yeah. Actually, that is a very good thing to mention, is that even though Dillo is not known as the really big RNG monster in this game, I think the biggest time losses that we've ever seen in this game from RNG have actually been Dillo. There have been clips of people getting 15 to 20 seconds of straight Dillo rolling at the start of the fight. And it is actually so sad that most runners just start laughing out loud because it really sucks, but it's so hilarious when you see it happen.
Yeah. You really can't do anything about it, but just laugh.
Yeah, you just have to sit there until he's like, okay, I'm done rolling, yeah, now you can spark my armor off. But then you're already 15 seconds later. Oh, Ch0cman almost had a nice bonk to the door with his platform.
Yeah.
But decided he did not want that big spike in his back. And he also gets a couple rolls from Dillo.
Oh my god, yeah.
Okay, maybe quite a lot of rolls.
A lot.
This is exactly what I was talking about.
Yeah.
So yeah, Dillo in this round appears to be not interested in giving anyone a good time.
Yeah, he's really not cooperating.
And you can see that you can abuse the spark on the wall if it splits up and it's Dillo from behind.
Now Walrus going to Octopus.
Yeah, we see about a stage difference between the both of them still following up on Ch0cman's death from co-anger. And I really wonder if we will see a lot of people using safety strats on Octo in this tournament as well. You can disable most of Octopus's attacks if you cut off his arms using the boomerangs. But so far we have not seen that happening.
It's the first race, it might happen, definitely.
Yeah, definitely some people will use this. It's a good safety strat. If you only have one attack to worry about, it's very straightforward what's going to happen.
Ch0cman having a lot of troubles with the horse.
Oh, yeah. Bonking through there. And using Seast. This is actually a good thing about this category, is that you have Seasting for the sub-tanks, which is actually a really easy to use item.
Yeah.
Weapon. It will kill them really fast. It does take a lot of damage though. This is very dangerous for him to go to Octopus like that. He kind of will have to hope for a health drop from the Utuboros. That would really be optimal if he takes that. And meanwhile we have Walrus already dashing through the Mammoth stage.
Almost done with the stage.
Yeah, making quick work of the miners. And again the conveyor belt. Once more chat. Where we see the movement being really the most tricky in this stage, since it can hinder you from doing things properly.
Real nice movements by Walrus. Ch0cman already starting with Octopus.
I like to see how some people are cursing Walrus in the chat. We see Ch0cman with a really good.
That's a really good fight.
Octo is being very kind. We do not see any tornadoes. However,
it's actually with the chance.
Block a couple of the shots with the missiles. which is quite annoying. If you fight Octopus and you're firing your shots, he can just block them off with all of his projectiles.
Yeah. Now Warrior's about to start the Sigma stages, which is where the fun is going to begin.
Yeah, oh, that was a...
Glitch, I think?
Yeah, the HP stayed on screen there.
Huh.
I think that has something to do with if you attempt to swap weapons or something, I'm not sure. But yeah, this is where we see everything start, and Walrus making a little error there, needing multiple eye shots because he didn't get a ricochet inside of the turtle.
Getting a really good
leap of faith. And Ch0cman once more passing down on bottom, getting a safety heart.
Oh, and missing. This is one of the problems of doing it like this.
Yeah, that is also a thing with this heart. It can take you a couple tries if you miss the boomerang throw. Plus, as I said earlier, it's probably not going to make a big difference to take this third safety heart. Walrus, meanwhile, going for the Vile Skip. I think I mentioned this earlier that the Vile Skip can't soft lock your game.
Yeah.
But it's always worth to mention it again because it's something you very, very rarely see in
but it happens.
runs. But it would surprise me if not a single person soft locked over the course of the tournament, since it's always an option. It's easy to slip your mind for a second that you need to keep start pressed or your finger slips off a button.
I might bet we might see at least 2 soft locks.
It's well possible. Meanwhile, Walrus there had a really quick Vile fight. Vile has nearly no iframes when you fight him, so you can fire shots into him really quickly. However, because he does hit so hard if he body slams you, yeah, you have to be careful, but
that could be dangerous.
Yeah, I believe he can actually kill you in 2 hits if he does body slams. But Walrus got through clean, no hits, and bumping his HP down really quickly. Walrus again will try to go for the double hit, and Ch0cman already arriving at Sigma 1.
Maybe he will try to again the leap of faith.
Yeah, perhaps. And Walrus this time getting a nice double hit.
Oh, he missed it and died.
Ch0cman.
Oh no. That will put him even far behind.
Yeah, that is another easily 20 seconds he's going to be behind. Which, well, is not impossible to overcome because we still do have Sigma 4. And
oh my god, this is...
He might not want to keep doing this though.
Yeah.
That it really significantly increases Walrus's lead, meaning that he has even more space for potential Sigma 4 D-Rex mistakes going to the end of this race.
Okay, he's not gonna try it this time.
Yeah, he will take it safe. It's actually, if you're uncertain of your gameplay, it's always better to take a little step back and try not to be too fast about it.
And so far from Walrus, we can see that really good spider fight.
Yeah, getting a couple baby spiders, which can be annoying to deal with, but it's not that bad. Other than that, the patterns are fairly nice.
Yeah, there's even a chance that the spider will go down, and even halfway he will throw spiders, and don't just mess up your timing.
That is true. That is actually one of the more annoying patterns Spider has when he comes halfway down and decides to throw some more babies at you and kind of throw you off.
Really nice way down.
Meanwhile, Mega Man goes further beyond on Ch0cman's stream. Fills his HP back up without a sub-tank. What a cheater.
And Walrus going on Penguin, hoping for not as many sliders.
Ch0cman, however, had a really nice file fight as well. Didn't really waste too much time there.
Oh, 3 is lattice so far.
Yeah, and you have to be a little bit careful with the slides here, because usually people attempt to get at least 2 charged fire waves on him. Fire wave! Sorry, I had to do that. But if you're not careful and get a lot of slides, then yeah, you might run out of fire wave ammo here fairly quickly. You can't really afford to do 3 of those.
Now let's hope for a good Kuwanger for Ch0cman.
Kuwanger is actually deceptively difficult, even though you have the tornadoes or whatnot. He can really, during his iframe, still dash at you and try to grab you. It's quite annoying.
And the dives to start on Walrus.
Yes, but they already do a lot of damage to Eagle, so it didn't really cost them too much.
And 3 dives was really not that bad. Okay, Ch0cman just getting his health back.
Yeah, he did this last time as well, because he does not feel very confident on Spider, it seems like. Which is okay, it's better to get a little bit of HP and make sure you get through than just going in with the shivers. Or is getting an instant blue eye.
That's the second blue eye, which is nice.
If he one-cycles the nose here, which he does, it will be an extremely fast fight.
Oh, okay, really.
That eye closed at the last moment. If he had not paid attention there, he had the risk of dropping down onto the spikes again.
Ch0cman almost done with this fight.
And yes, as I see someone ask why no Hadoken, is because it's an any percent tournament. Getting the Hadoken is a 100% strat, which you can't play 100%. This is any percent, and 100% is any percent. This was really difficult. But getting the Hadoken, getting all the items, doing all the revisits on Dillo would really cost you a ton of time. So
it's really not that recommended to do.
Unless you're planning on at least 1 game over on D-Rex or something, it's probably faster to just attempt going with any items you'd like to get as any percent and going without the Hadoken.
Walrus going for the CFO again?
Yeah. Probably really wants to put on a little bit of a show because he knows he can do the strat here. Although I have to say, it's not really that he wants to put on a show, he always does this. It's slightly faster as well, and it's not a really big deal, but
yeah.
But time is time, so.
Now let's hope that Penguin is not gonna troll Ch0cman that much.
Well, he does it. There is this really annoying thing with Penguin, where if you hit him, he can just bonk in your direction, like he did twice now already. Ch0cman actually taking a lot of damage from Penguin here.
It's really close, really close.
And Ch0cman will be using some C-Sting to get that
health back.
The next segment. Probably does that because he wants to get some safety. He was fairly low after Penguin, so.
This is actually good, and going for those gap jumps.
Wallace, meanwhile, already on Octo. Probably well over 2 minutes ahead, I believe, between the 2 runners here.
Yeah, it'll be there.
And Ch0cman finishing up Eagle. Did he get any dives? Because I didn't really see.
No, I didn't see.
Okay. Because Eagle looked in the place where he generally starts out, so I was kind of assuming no dives.
Maybe chat will help us.
Well, chat gives us 2 tornadoes. And
now Ch0cman with Ragnar.
Let's see how Ragna's RNG goes for Ch0cman.
Hadoken!
Blue eye. It's always nice to start.
Starting with that. Green eye, not so bad.
Really, I think it's so sad. I believe that like green eyes are really beautiful, and then they're the worst RNG possible
Yeah.
on Rangda game. Why? Now we see Wallace getting D-Rex here. D-Rex can be a fairly difficult fight if he gives you, well,
I would say it's about
pattern.
timing.
See, as D-Rex gets low, his speed increases by which he attacks you, and then his both halves start moving around. So if you hit him at a point where he is not doing the chomps, where you can force him to do a second chomp, and he starts moving around crazy fast in an unpredictable pattern, he can give trouble to any runner, no matter what level you are at. Meanwhile, Ch0cman will be doing his Dillo skip again with the damage boost.
Yeah, I was reading in chat. Yeah, and 100% getting the Hadouken is necessary because it saves you a lot and a lot of time.
Yeah, definitely. Hadouken is very fast to the late game with, but it just requires a really long time to get. Oh, Walrus appears to be having a little bit of a different strat this time around, taking it safe on on Valgarder.
Definitely went
Probably remembering what happened in the first race where he died to Wolf Sigma rather, unfortunately, and does not want to risk having this happen again. Well, but I have to say, I can't blame. The general rule of this any percent tournament is going to be for everyone, no matter what skill level you're at or what PP you have, is don't die. That's the big message for everyone. You don't.
That's like the rule number one.
I mean, that's generally probably something you want in most speedruns, that you don't want to die unless it's some kind of death warp. But in this game, definitely, you don't really want to die. And 100% you kind of want to for picking up the Hadouken, but in any percent there is no such thing. And sadly the game throws a lot of things at you to try and kill you. He has very favorable RNG here. The Claw is not shooting a lot of lightnings, and I believe that is honestly the easiest thing to do. Laura's taking a very strong victory here. Having a 31-43 is actually a very good time.
Very clean fight.
Yeah, that's some good RNG. The claws, as I said, not too much lightning.
Yeah, definitely. Now Ch0cman just done with Octopus, about to start with Mammoth.
Yeah, he has about a stage and a half to go.
I think he might go on the upper path.
Sub-tank yet this time.
Yeah, he went to upper path, trying to avoid that energy peak.
Yeah, it's kind of difficult. But he didn't use the sub-tank yet, as he did before on Spider, I believe. So
yeah, he has
a little bit of time save still on Sigma 4, as you won't have to farm for that. I also think we will probably get Walrus in here after the race is over. On both
Walrus
sides.
Done with Mammoth.
I think Ch0cman
bad luck
with Mammoth. Walrus was done with us a little while ago. And Ch0cman going into D-Rex now. Hopefully he gets a bit of a good fight with not too many extremely quick slamming around. Gets a chomp and is
trying to play. Oh, okay.
No, he does force a second chomp, but the way he did it made it look like
on purpose.
Like it wasn't on purpose. So I'm not sure if he knows about it or not.
I think he might.
I'm not sure. I would have to remember his first fight to be sure.
Now on the last stage on Sigma 4.
Yep, the death trap of any percent.
Now last time Ch0cman didn't have any problems here, so we're gonna hope that everything's gonna be fine here.
He does a double check here to see if his sub tank is full anyway, even though he didn't use it yet, but just wanted to be extra sure.
Never wrong to be extra safe.
That is true. This category does like for you to be certain that you're safe. And he already had a couple deaths in this run, unfortunately, so we don't really want to see him dying again right now. Do we, chat? Do we? Maybe. I mean, chances are that you do enjoy watching people die, although it had potentially been more exciting to see Walrus die. It was a little bit closer then.
Yeah, that will be the case. Now with the second part of this.
He seems to have thrown his fight a little bit off. Usually if you can always have Sigma in about the same pattern going on the wall, but if you make a little bit of a mistake in your movement, although he does seem to know what he's doing because he seems to be in the right spot the entire time.
Even this fight looks really easy. It's all about the timing. If you messed up the timing, this fight can go really, really wrong.
Yeah, it's not so easy to get the wall shots in on Jedi Sigma. It takes a little bit of practice. If you're not used to it, then you can easily fluke a lot of those. No, see.
Okay, burst so far is good.
Right claw. Do not go on the right claw. Do not trust the right claw, because it kills Walrus.
Oh my god. What is this?
Do not jump into the right claw. Thank God for sub thanks. Oh, I didn't need it after all, but there he goes. Finishing with
done.
25-23. That's about, I think, the same time as Ed on the first race, which is really good.
Yeah, actually really good.
So consistency is definitely key for Ch0cman, which will definitely help him in later races. Even
GG to both of them.
Didn't help out today.
This was definitely a really, really nice race.
Yeah, it was nice to watch. Walrus seemed to be a little bit ahead in boat races the entire time, but Ch0cman definitely held up his own to try and keep up with him.
Yeah.
And yeah, let's be fair, he kind of got to Walrus, because I'm not sure if Walrus did watch the restream or not, but we did see Walrus in the second race taking a little bit more safety on Sigma 4.
Yeah.
As he probably did not want to risk Ch0cman getting in on him.
Getting any closer than what he had to.
Yeah, because he knows it as well. If I die on Sigma 4, things get really dangerous.
Yeah, it was like really a sad move, or a really bad move, better said, for Ch0cman to try to do the leap of faith twice after he died. He should just have gone like vanilla style on it.
Yeah. I'm not sure if we get the runners in here for commentary, yes or no?
I think so. Can we?
I will have a little check up on that. Oh. Darn. I don't know what Ch0cman's name is on Discord.
Try to get it. His name is Ch0cman.
oh yeah, of course. I was typing in a panel that he isn't part of. Excuse me.
Same.
Can you guys hear me type? If so, excuse me. That was not the point. Not a big day for Walrus. Raymond, time for the next race. I would have to look if any more races have already been scheduled.
I think there's one on the 6th, December 6th.
Yeah, I see here there's another race, full set of races between Venus Prince and Valves 22 on Wednesday. The tournament only started officially today, so since today everyone is able to schedule their matches, but I guess a lot of people are still trying to catch up with their opponents in their respective groups, so they can talk to them and see what would work out for planning.
We still have a lot of races the rest of this month.
Oh, apparently I can move people into this.
Oh, perfect.
Live channel. Oh, hello.
Hello,
GG.
Hey guys, thanks.
Good job on the race. So, how are you feeling about your first victory in the opening race for the tournament?
The first of many. It felt pretty good. The first race was a little iffy. The mech strats and Sigma 2, that was fun.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, we see you had a little bit problems there.
So you mean that you didn't intend to do that for the hype of the mech strats?
No, the mech strats were not intentional.
Oh, that is actually terrible. I had hoped you would try to bring hype, but...
No, you know, what I was trying to do, being the first race of the tournament, I was trying to set a hot pace for the rest of the other guys. And I think I did okay. The 31.4x is pretty spicy. So come at me, guys. Beat it.
Yeah, 31 time is definitely pretty good.
That really sets the bar.
Yeah. So I'm glad I got at least 131s.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Well, I mean, pretty good. 31 times are going to be something we look out for in this tournament. That's top tier times right there.
Yeah, definitely.
But going into that first race, man, I was nervous. It was weird, right? Like I was as nervous as I was for my GDQ race back in January. It was, I don't know why my heart was pounding. I was kind of shaking. I was worried about like intro Bs and like, oh man, it was.
It all came back to you. Yeah. But I mean, you could at least really motivate yourself with the thought that there was no option to end up fourth in a one-on-one race.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm looking forward to. This coming GDQ, there's only 3 of us in the race this year, so I can't get 4th place.
Yeah, just be careful. You can still be 4th place in the tournament.
Yeah. We'll try to avoid that. If you're not first, you're last, right?
Yeah.
So that's the goal.
Also, I see Ch0cman will not be joining us for the interview. He declines because he feels his English is not so great.
Yeah, he's Chilean.
So. Oh, Chilean. Well,
yeah. He had a translator help him organize the race with me, but
hey, I can speak Spanish. I can translate. There's no problem with that.
Yeah.
Oh well, for me it's okay if you want to suggest it to him.
Yeah.
I might ask.
So what's next? We got any more races? Last I looked at the schedule, the tournament just started today, right?
Yeah,
so,
I just mentioned this to Chat, who asked about it. There will be another race on Wednesday, December 6th. Between Venus Prince and Valves, but there are no other races scheduled yet, as it's only the first day of the tournament and lots of people are still trying to get a hold of each other for races. Speaking from my personal experience, I already talked to people in my group, but I don't know how fast I'm going to be able to schedule with everyone due to, well, time zones and work for everyone.
Yeah.
We might have to wait and see.
Well, it should be fun either way. I was glad that I got to do the first race and get the ball rolling and sort of try to set the bar as low as I could, I guess, right? Time-wise. So,
yeah.
I feel like I accomplished that. So I'm looking forward to some of the other top runners trying to beat in my time, because there's some guys very, very well capable of putting up really low 30.
What are the races you are most hoping for to look, or you look forward to?
I'm looking forward to one of my next group matches against Profection. He knocked me out of the 100% tournament last year, so I'm looking to get some revenge.
Oh, I see. Who is the fourth person? Oh wait, no. Profection, you, Ch0cman. Yeah.
Crack Attack.
Oh, Crack.
Crack Attack's the other person in my group, so.
Crack also has quite a lot of experience with the X games. I'm not really sure what his time is. Is it Profection or Crack second seed in your group?
Ch0cman was the second seed.
Oh, Ch0cman was the second seed. Oh, excuse me, I didn't know.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. Wow, I'm sorry. That's actually rude of me. Perhaps I should have done a little bit of research.
Yeah, I think his PB was like a 33 something.
Yeah, he was like 2 minutes, I guess, 2 minutes and a half of you.
Which is about what I beat him by. So I mean,
well, that's good on him then. I hope he still improves during the course of the tournament and still...
Yeah, hopefully his next couple matches should be more competitive. When you run up against the Walrus, there's not a lot you can do, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
And even with 2 deaths, we have to recognize that Choco did an amazing job so far on this first race, the first of many he's going to have.
Yeah, I look forward to Ch0cman's future races against Pro and Crack Attack. This should be good.
By the way, did you get a hold of Ch0cman if you would like to go at
He
this
was not answering, so I don't know.
Okay. Maybe a last question was like, if you had to choose anyone other than yourself, I know it's only the first race, but who's gonna win the tournament?
Well, obviously, I'm gonna win the tournament.
Yeah, but not yourself.
Other than...
Well, I mean, the obvious pick is Akiteru, right? He's got the record. Nero is in Akiteru's group. He's a very strong competitor. He doesn't really have a PB for any percent, so it's going to be interesting to see what kind of times he can put up and how he progresses, because he did the same thing in the 100% tournament, where he came in with like a relatively mediocre PB and ended up in the finals. So
That is true.
Nero is a god gamer. He just got the X2 any% record recently, if you guys didn't know that. So like, Nero is one to look out for. So that should be a good group. And then obviously, Zam's got the number 2 time. Like, you just go down the line. Tiki, all those guys are really, really good. So,
And you would give Aki the edge over Zam, your town buddy?
yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, I think so. Zam hasn't been playing as much lately. Neither has Aki most recently, but not long ago, Aki was putting up some really good times. So,
Yep.
We're definitely going to have to look forward to those races.
yeah, those ones won't happen till brackets. So.
Yeah, that will still be quite some time. We will have 4 weeks of group stages.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if there is
This
much
will
else.
be all now. Since Ch0cman didn't say anything else.
Yeah, well, I suppose there will not be much else to talk about for now then. So, yeah, I suppose we can round it up for today. And
Don't forget to follow those runners. They deserve it. They did an amazing job.
definitely follow the runners. Thanks for the Speed Gaming crew for restreaming and for, coming up with the idea of the tournament.
Yeah, buena suerte, Choco. Hasta la próxima.
Okay.
Just in case.
Yeah, and I hope I will be seeing everyone soon again, and I hope I get to commentate a couple more races, because
definitely.
I really enjoy doing that.
It's fun.
So,
All right, good luck to you guys in your races. I'm gonna go
Yeah.
celebrate. You guys have a good day.
Congratulations
Alright.
again.
Thank
You
you.
too. Thanks everyone for watching, and hope to see you soon. We'll keep you posted if there's any matches coming up.
Yeah, definitely. I might join on that one.
Alright,
Take care, everyone.
take care, and see you later.